The Indians are coming off an emotionally charged weekend series in Minneapolis. The Tribe went into that series against the front-running Twins knowing they had to at least win the series. Realistically, they needed to sweep. But 2 out of 3, as Meatloaf once said, ain't bad. And now the Indians roll into Anaheim, the land that Randy Newman once sang about and said he loved so much. The Indians here on the West Coast. It's a 3-game series against the Angels as the Tribe tries to keep pace in both the wild card race and the American League Central Division title hunt. Hello again, everyone. I'm Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. So if the Indians can get on a roll, and I think that's what it's going to take, Rick, one of those patented Terry Francona late season winning streaks, maybe against an Angels team that's banged up, no Mike Trout in the lineup. They're hurting a little bit, and they've got big Shane Bieber on the hill.
They've been known to do it, and Bieber going to be pitching right in his backyard here in Anaheim, and Shane Bieber has been outstanding. Again, he comes up, he stepped up and really took over the #1 role here while everybody was out. And Shane Bieber with that good breaking ball, the outstanding command, his fastball is very good, and he has beaten the Angels once this year. And I'll tell you, as this guy rolls, when you look at the 2 other guys we're going to compare him with here, Corey Kluber, CC Sabathia, both Cy Young Award winners, and you look at the first 50 games in comparison, outstanding. He's got a better ERA. He has more strikeouts. He's logged more innings than a lot of those guys, and that is very impressive. And he's just starting his career, so let's hope it continues like these other 2 guys have been. And, you know, you never know what could happen with this guy.
Man, the proof is in the pudding, and when you look at those numbers, it really jumps out at you how impressive Shane Bieber has been. And in particular, he's been impressive when they've absolutely needed him to win. Coming down the stretch, every game critical for the Tribe. We'll be back with tonight's first pitch between the Indians and the Angels, and we'll check in with Andre Knott straight ahead. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by Who But WB Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By your Northern Ohio Honda dealers, made in Ohio, Ohio proud. And by Spectrum Mobile. Spectrum Mobile has unlimited talk, text, and data. Save up to 40%. Go to SpectrumMobile.com today. Hook up for a 3-game series. And this has been a good place to play for the Indians. It's been a good team to play for the Indians since 2017. This is a good division for the Indians. They've gone 54-39 against the American League West since 2017. That's the best among any American League Central Division team. All right, let's go downstairs right now to Andre Knott.
Well, the homecoming for the Indians players begins tonight for Shane Bieber, who will be on the mound. Grew up not far from here, has a lot of family in here. But we've talked over the last few starts for him, guys, that now that he's in his first full season and trying to make it into all of his starts, he's changed some things up. So I talked to Roberto Perez and how he's changed and what we can expect to see tonight.
He's a hard worker, man. He's been so consistent throughout the year. He's been huge for us the whole year. But his breaking ball got a lot better lately. I'm gonna use that tonight a little bit more. Seems the slider doesn't have the bite that he was having, early in the year. So, it's a matter of how he's throwing it in the bullpen, see what's working, and ask him how he's feeling. So. But hopefully, he got everything going tonight, so I'm going to use all his pitches.
Well, let's go. Get him rolling. That'll be a good thing for him, no doubt about it. All right, let's check out the Hyundai starting pitcher for the Angels. It'll be Patrick Sandoval, the left-hander. He's probably going to be on a pitch count of about 60 to 70 pitches. You can see his record's 0-2 with a 4.91 ERA. He has pitched better here. He's got an ERA of 2.89 here at Angel Stadium, but that only covers 9 1/3 innings. And this will be the first time he's matching up against the Indians.
Let's get the starting lineup now for Terry Francona and the Indians, brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Francisco Lindor will lead it off. Oscar Mercado in the 2-hole, followed by Carlos Santana. Yasiel Puig will bat cleanup, riding a 7-game hitting streak. Jordan Luplow in the starting lineup tonight, in left field batting 5th. Franmil Reyes will hit 6th. Then it's Jason Kipnis, Roberto Perez, and Yu Chang. So in all, that gives the Indians 8 right-handed bats against the lefty Patrick Sandoval.
And defensively for the Angels, it's Upton, Goodwin, and Calhoun in the outfield. On the infield, it'll be Fletcher, Simmons, Rehemfro, and Pujols, and Beboom is behind the plate.
Chris Guccione will call the balls and strikes. Bill Welke, the acting crew chief, is at first base. Tom Woodring down at second, Lance Barrett at third, and we're ready to go. Sandoval the wine, and tonight's first pitch up and away, ball one. Patrick Sandoval, left-hander, firm with the fastball. He is one of 7 rookies in Angels history to strike out at least 30 batters in his first 6 appearances.
Yeah, as you mentioned, a good firm fastball, but his changeup is that swing and miss pitch. Right now, he's searching to throw that fastball for a strike. And, you know, this is what happens when you get young pitchers and you come in there if they're going to be on a pitch count because, you know, they're being very careful with their pitchers. If you have a rough inning, you may only go 3 innings.
Top of the zone in there for a strike. Yeah, I always find that's got to be a difficult balance to strike. You're trying to win, you're trying to develop, but you're trying to build for the future as well, knowing that this season is already lost for the Angels as Lindor reaches with a leadoff walk. They've already been eliminated from playoff contention, so essentially they're playing out the string, but that doesn't mean you cheat the game. You're still trying to win and compete.
Yes,
but they don't want to push this guy to the point where he breaks down and gets hurt either.
That's true. They keep a very watchful eye on their young pitchers, like a lot of clubs do.
All right, here's Oscar Mercado. Mercado in his last 5 games has gone 7 for 19 with a couple of doubles, a triple, and 4 runs batted in.
I think he might be taken here.
He swung at it.
He just walked the leadoff hitter on 5 pitches. And, you know, it looked like it might have been a changeup. I don't think that this was a fastball. This is going to be on our Nissan pitch tracker. It's a changeup.
Well, that's where you have to ask him.
What are you looking for?
Right. What's your plan?
If you're going up looking for a fastball in that situation, you swing at that pitch after he just walked the guy in 5 pitches, then that's a mistake. You pretty much should take and make him get in the strike zone for you so you get an idea of what he's trying to do.
The Angels have 3 on the left side of the infield. Right side is wide open with Pujols holding Lindor at first. And he shoots it right back up the middle and through. Good approach by Mercado there. He took that fastball and stayed inside the ball, and the Indians have their first 2 aboard to start the night. Our storylines tonight are brought to you by Wayside Furniture. Carlos Santana has been the Indians MVP. No question about it, start to finish. And hopefully that consistency carries him through these final couple of weeks of the season. Shane Bieber, meanwhile, he grew up here in nearby Southern California. A homecoming of sorts for him.
Yeah, I bet he's looking forward to this start.
Santana, when the Indians met the Angels in Cleveland this year, he went 4 for 9 against Angels pitching with a homer and 3 runs batted in. Angels play him straight up on the infield. No shift for Carlos.
They will see 3 left-handers in this series.
Swing and a miss. You might have to go back to the days of Langston and Finley. When was the last time the Angels threw 3 lefties?
That's true.
In a row against the Tribe.
They also have Haney, so they've got some left-handed starters. It used to be the Chicago White Sox in our division that could do that to you when they had Chris Sale and you know, some other guys, but
2 on, nobody out. 1-1 count for Santana, and that misses outside.
Yeah,
so as you said, he's searching. He's searching.
Yeah,
early.
he's feeling. I mean, and he's starting the guys out with change-ups. You know, and trying to. He just doesn't have a feel yet, so you wait him out. Indians 28-17 this year against left-handed starters.
Swing and a miss, a fastball. Threw it by him, and it was good location.
You're going to see a good low tracer, about 94. And there you'll see, down and away.
He has a sort of a short arm delivery, and it might be
sneaky,
tough to pick it up.
Sneaky.
There it is, strike 3 called.
Well, then he comes back inside and he's able to lock him up with a fastball. Good pitch. He dotted it away the pitch before, and then this time he comes inside. Look at Carlos backing away from it. So to me, that tells me he's having a tough time picking it up.
I agree with you 100%. You don't normally see Santana
flinch
in that situation where he's kind of back on his heels. Yasiel Puig has not been back on his heels lately. He's swinging a hot bat. He's hit in 7 straight games, 9 for his last 29. Fouled that pitch back. Boy, there was a fastball. He had a chance to do some damage. He's been a .303 hitter all season long with runners in scoring position. Had a good series in terms of offensive productivity against the Twins. Minus the 1 mental lapse. Almost went after it, but held up.
A little, you know, it almost looks like he jumps at you as a hitter because he leans back and then all of a sudden you come. And if he can spot that fastball and get strikes, that's the pitch that he wants to get to, is his changeup, because it can be very deceiving. And that's why he has those 30 strikeouts in his first 6 starts, because hitters are having a tough time picking it up.
That's off the end of the bat. It's a fair ball and gets by Pujols. Lindor will score. Mercado into third. He'll have to hold there. Yasiel Puig hobbling around the bag at first with a base hit just inside the sack. It drives home Lindor, and the Indians have a 1-0 lead.
Man, you couldn't have rolled this out there with your bare hand any better than this. Off the end of the bat. And you can see Puig's ankle and his hammy probably still bothering him, but it's off the end and it stays fair. Pujols off the line. That's a cue shot right inside the bag at first. He was not going to get there. He realized, I have to hold up because Calhoun and Wright gets to the baseball. But the Indians break on top here in the first. It's a 1-0 ball game.
And that will bring up Jordan Luplow. Feels like forever since he's had an opportunity to start a game.
Yeah, no kidding.
By the way, the Indians are 63-16 when they score first.
Well, there's a free at bat for Luplow with 1 out in the first. That man on third.
Not a bad way to start your night when you haven't played a lot.
Right.
Been in these situations.
You make contact. If you can hit the ball deep enough into the outfield, you got good speed at third base, you can get a ribby. Make it a 2-0 game, even a.
Chased one. There's that changeup.
This is what gives the Indians lineup trouble sometimes, is the eye level change. The north and south, fastballs up, changeups down. They have had issues and trouble against pitchers that can do that to them this year.
This is the 9th of September, and Jordan Luplow has had 3 at-bats this month. Gone 1 for 3. Scored 2 runs.
Yeah, well, when he first came back, you remember with that injury, he did get a start, but only had 2 at-bats off a left-hander when they went to the right-hander, and he took him out of the game just to, I think it was against maybe Kansas City.
Chicago.
Okay.
Yep. If you're talking about this month, or you're talking about back in July?
Well, no, when he just came back to play.
Yeah, it was the White Sox.
Yeah, I got you.
Now the 1-2. Luplow bounces it to short. They'll get the force at second, and Luplow is doubled up. And that will end the inning. But the Indians break on top early on the RBI single by Yasiel Puig. Angels are coming to bat. To cheer on their favorite alum.
All right, Shane Bieber. He'll be the Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher for the Tribe. Bieber making his 30th start. He's a 13-7 record, 3.24 ERA. Last time he pitched against the Angels, it was a complete game. He gave up 5 hits, a couple of runs, had 8 strikeouts against them.
All right, the Angels lineup for Brad Ausmus tonight. Brian Goodwin leads off. David Fletcher at third base, batting second. Shohei Ohtani will DH. Justin Upton is in the cleanup spot. Albert Pujols is fifth. Cole Calhoun. Then Andrelton Simmons, Luis Rengifo, Anthony Bemboom, the catcher. You'll notice Mike Trout conspicuously absent from that Angels lineup. He's dealing with a foot injury, not expected to play in the series. Pitch is down low to Brian Goodwin. And a fastball misses just a little bit low. And he lays off. 3 balls and a strike. Tell you what, this young man's done a nice job since the All-Star break. Goodwin has batted .293.
Yeah, I've seen him play a few times. He's got a nice swing.
Pops this one up, though. In comes Luplow, and the left fielder makes the catch one away.
Well, let's check out that Indians D brought to you by Conrad's. It looks like this. Luplow in left, the Mercado in center, Puig over in right. It'll be Chang at third, Lindor at short, Kipnis at second, Santana at first, Perez doing the catching.
David Fletcher will bat in the 2-hole for the Angels. Yeah, for Shane Bieber, he grew up in Laguna Hills, California, which if you jump on Interstate 5, which is just outside Angel Stadium, take it about 20 miles south. It'll drop you off right in Laguna Hills, and from there it's another 15-20 minutes or so to beautiful Laguna Beach. There's a line drive and a base hit into center field. Now David Fletcher, who was just 1 for 12 against the Indians in that series in Cleveland, has a 1-out single.
Yeah, he's a guy that he can find a way to get the barrel of the bat to the baseball. That ball got in on him, but he lines it into center field for the Angels' first hit. The Angels, their team now, they've scored 715 runs, which is 7th, so they have scored more than the Indians have. They've got an offense that can score runs, and I know Mike Trout's out of that lineup now, but they're still, they can get to you.
But he's
the
a
man.
huge catalyst for this
He
offense.
makes everybody in that lineup better.
Shohei Ohtani. He's been producing here of late. He had 7 RBI in his last 6 games, all in the month of September. So he had 11 runs batted in for the whole month of August, and already 7 runs batted in through the first week of September. So they need that with Trout's sideline.
Yes, they sure do. This guy, you know, he is a really good hitter. He stays to the big part of the field, doesn't try to pull anything.
There's a pop-up, and that's over toward the seating area. Yu Chang is
back.
there, and he'll make the catch.
That came back a little bit.
Nice job by Chang to get there first, as you always say. Get there first, then adjust. And
Yes.
that's exactly what he did.
That's a good point. He sure did. And it's right over there near the camera bay. And he got a peek, he looked, and now he's got his hand on the padding, and he sees it coming back. Well done.
You know, we already did our storylines. Shane Bieber, the homecoming, obviously one of the key matchups I'm interested to watch tonight is Bieber, because he is prolific strikeout pitcher. Let's not gloss that over. He's punched out 233 batters coming into tonight. One of the best strikeout pitchers in the league. However, he's going up against an Angels lineup that even without Mike Trout, they are still second lowest in what they call strikeout rate. They've only struck out 19.7% of the time this year. Houston's number 1, so they're the second toughest team to strike out. And Bieber is a strikeout pitcher.
Yeah, he has 9 straight starts where he has at least 7 strikeouts. And if you go back to 6, he's got 16 starts of 6 or more.
Yeah. Yep. 9 straight. He struck out 7 and 20 of the last 29.
And that is current. So, I mean, yeah, he settles in once he gets through that first 2 innings sometimes, searching for it. And then once he locks in, then he just goes.
I guess my question is, you know, if you're a strikeout pitcher, though, Rick, do you have to strike? I mean, you think that's a psyche thing? Like, I've got to get the strikeout?
Not with him.
Or, hey, I'm just going to get outs.
Not with him.
He
goes out there. He gets strikeouts because he's ahead in almost every count.
So it's a product of how he pitches.
It's a product of making good pitches, getting ahead of the hitters, and making quality pitches like that.
Got him looking.
A fastball looking.
234th strikeout of the year for Shane Bieber as Justin Upton is caught peeking. And after 1, it's 1-0 Cleveland. Second inning here in Anaheim, where Franmil Reyes will lead off, Jason Kipnis, and then Roberto Perez. Reyes has seen the Angels. With the Padres, they had a series earlier this year. He's 1 for 11, though.
Well, he said in Minnesota he didn't like the cold, so he's back to where he was playing in some decent weather. He's in for a shock next April. Playing on the lake.
Two balls and a strike. In his last 16 games, Reyes has amassed 19 hits. He lays off the breaking ball, and it's 3-1. No, now the count goes full. Angels have actually been a pretty good team at home this year. They're 35-34 at home. Their problems have been on the road where they're just 32-43. Overall, they've lost 7 of their last 10 coming in. And that's ball 4. So for the second inning in a row, Patrick Sandoval walks the leadoff man.
Yeah, well, it cost him in the first inning.
Well, as we go down the stretch, every game critical for the Cleveland Indians. Tomorrow's game will be seen exclusively on YouTube at 10 o'clock East. Jim Thome will be part of the telecast tomorrow night. Then we'll be back with you Wednesday for the series finale. That will be an 8 o'clock Eastern time start. And then we come home for a huge series against the Minnesota Twins. And you can see those games on Sports Time Ohio. Jason Kipnis crushes the ball to deep center field. Goodbye! Kip with his 17th home run of the year. A 2-run home run here in inning number 2 makes it 3-0 Cleveland. Tell you what, he has been on fire since that at-bat he had in Minnesota where he failed to get the runner home. He has turned it around. He's gone 6 for his last 9.
Check this out, Spectrum Mobile Replay. He tried to get the heater by him and it didn't work. Kip stayed back, put a good swing on it, straight away central into the bushes. And that leadoff walk hurts him again, so it's 3-0 now. Indians.
Roberto Perez looks at the ball in the dirt. Isn't that amazing, though? I mean, I know it's not simply just coincidence, but he had that at bat in Minnesota.
I
was
remember.
really mad. He was frustrated.
He was fuming.
And then Tito just told him, hey, you know, it's okay. It's all right. And, boy, since then, he's just exploded.
Well, it's just a matter of he's saying relax, and you'll be just fine. And guess what? I think he relaxed.
And he has been
You made
just
light
fine.
of it. You made light of it when we were in Minnesota because Tito had his arm around him,
Yeah.
and it was a lengthy conversation because he was waiting to get in the on-deck circle.
Well, now Roberto Perez with a 2-1 count. And there's a broken bat single into center field for Roberto. So the Indians already with 4 hits. First time through the order. Yu Chang, the number 9 hitters, heading to the plate.
4 hits and 2 walks.
Yeah.
So they have had their share of guys on the pillows.
Yeah, you only had the Santana strikeout, and then Luplow
Yeah,
grounded into
double
the
play.
double play. Well, Patrick Sandoval, like Shane Bieber, a local product, right? John Q, Mission Viejo. How far from Anaheim? Mission Viejo, how far? 25 minutes? Yeah, so it's like a hometown situation. Well, and the cool thing for Sandoval is that when he was a youngster, he was in grade school and he was asked to do a book report. He did his book report on Albert Pujols, who was his favorite player at the time.
With the Cardinals.
Then with the Cardinals, and now ends up teammates with him.
I'll be
How
darned.
cool was that?
Yeah. Isn't that something? Well, you know, there's so many guys from Southern California that are in professional baseball. You know, out here it's just like a hotbed because they have the opportunity to play all year round.
Bounced way out in front of the plate. That's a nice stop by Bemboon.
Yeah, it's a beautiful stop.
Yu Chang with an opportunity to keep the train rolling here in inning number 2. Still nobody out.
Well, that's the thing, you know, when we say he's on a pitch count, I would say 60 to 70. So far, this first time through, they've done a nice job, but the walks have hurt him. $15 balls, 18 strikes. So he's, you know, it's been a tough start for him.
That's popped up and outside of play.
Sandoval started in Double-A this year, then moved up. That was down in Mobile, and then went to Triple-A Salt Lake. Made some starts. Now up here in the big leagues. So big jump.
And Yu Chang, quick bat, fouls it off. Got a piece of his foot, I think, with that foul ball. Umpire giving him a minute to gather himself. Chang 8 for his last 34.
Check it out. The third baseman is deeper than what Simmons is in short.
I thought that was
Did
an
you
odd
notice that?
alignment.
It
Yeah.
is. Simmons cheating in, figuring he's going to get it, and he's going to flip it quickly if he gets the ground ball.
Called him out on a pitch that was borderline at best. And that's a second strikeout for Sandoval, 1 down.
This breaking ball, backdoor breaking ball, and I'll tell you what, he catches a break. That's certainly not one you're going to swing at.
Frankie Lindor's got some strong shoe game working tonight, Arch. Look at those kicks.
Yes, indeed.
Those are very colorful. Our resident shoe expert, Andre Knott, has more on this subject.
Well, he has about 14 different colorways. So he changed. Seriously, he's got about 14, 15 different colorways that he has with those. Switches them up with every uniform. I'll be honest, I don't know if he's worn the same shoes all year long.
They look comfortable, I'll say that.
They do. They got the ankle support. See
Yeah,
what they did
I see that. Nice.
in there? So he's had to change the sock game. But there's no one in baseball that has a shoe game like this guy. Not one.
You do.
I'm working on it, Arch. I'm working on it.
2-0 the count.
Yeah, he walked Frankie on 5 pitches in the first to lead off the game. Come back with a 2-0 changeup away.
There's Chopper back to the mound. Sandoval's throw is in time to get Lindor for out number 2. Roberto Perez moves into scoring position. That's going to bring up Oscar Mercado, who took a very nice inside-out approach on a fastball. For a single in the first inning. He does that again here. Might be able to plate Roberto Perez with 2 down.
Nice. With 2 outs and runners in scoring position. Tough hit to get. He's been pretty darn good at it.
And there's a nice stop by Pujols, and the flip is in time to get him to end the inning. I thought for sure that was going to be another hit. But Albert Pujols with a nice diving stop took the hit away. Jason Kipnis, however, crushed a home run, and the Indians' lead is now 3-0.
A lot of Tribe fans out here tonight.
And Albert Pujols taking a first pitch strike. He's batted .284 since August the 1st.
Well, this guy, he could wake up and get out of bed and hit. He's been probably one of the greatest right-handed hitters in this generation. When he came up with the Cardinals, over 2,000 RBIs and extra base hits galore. Got over 1,200 homers and doubles. .30 homers in his first 12 seasons. That's unbelievable. 3-time NL MVP. You know, I don't know if he would have been able to make it if he was in the National League with the way his legs and ankles and, you know, his feet were when he first came over here to Anaheim. He's been able to DH, but now with Ohtani out of the lineup, he's been playing first base, but you got to give him credit.
He's played more games at first base this year than he has since 2015.
Yeah, I mean, and the reason is that Ohtani, he had the Tommy John surgery, and he can't play a position.
There's a ball smacked to deep left field. Luke blows back, and it is gone. Albert Pujols with his 22nd home run of the year. And with a guy like Pujols, every home run seems to be another stepping stone toward immortality.
Well, this is on an 0-2 pitch as well, Matt, and that was not located. That was a fastball. I think he wanted to try and climb the ladder. Well, the old guy can still get up and get on top of it because he deposits that out there way past the fence. So he gets the Angels on the board. Home run number 22.
He's now 5 home runs shy of Willie Mays.
Well, you see the names. I mean, with the RBIs, there's only 3 of them with the 2,000 RBI. And he's one of them.
Cole Calhoun skies one to left center field. Mercado moving over. And Oscar puts it away, 1 down. Let's check out our T-Mobile connection to the game. If you missed this earlier, Dave Dombrowski somewhat shockingly dumped in Boston after the Red Sox were world champions a year ago. But you know, you've got the big fat payroll. You've got essentially everything you asked for, you were given, and ownership obviously not happy with the results, even though Boston's not. They're not out of it yet.
Well, they pretty much. I don't see them coming back in, but they're got to beat again tonight. So you just mark another loss in that. But you know, they won the World Series last year. They had a perfect year. You're not going to come back and match that 108 win season that they had, and they thought they were going to win everything. But
as Tito told me, there's always more than meets the eye when it comes to Boston and how they do things. And he says, as much as we love this as a game, it's a business. And he goes, in those bigger markets is more of a business, and more people get their feelings involved. And he goes, and things like that happen. When I first asked Tito about it, he looked at me and laughed. He said, "Are you trying to get me in trouble?" He goes, but I don't. He said, "I don't know enough to give a lot, but I just know that there's a lot of people in Boston."
He lived through it, man.
Yeah,
he knows.
Well, as we talked about with the Indians and their playoff aspirations, this is no time of the year for losing streaks. And as you pointed out, Boston losing again today. That's 3 straight.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they went from in it to now 8.5 at least. Well, could be 9 out in the wild card race.
And the Yankees dominated them this year.
Yeah.
You know, they just smacked them around, and they just said, "Look, not your turn this year."
By Santana, Andrelton Simmons to an opposite field single.
This is another guy that can put good wood on the baseball. Simmons always seems to do that, so he'll get a 1-out single. Fastball away, he stayed on it. After pulling a breaking ball, he stays on it, goes the other way, gets it under the glove of Santana, gets it into right field. So that's their 3rd hit, first time through the lineup, with hitter number 8 walking to the plate.
And Luis Rengifo is that hitter. Came over in a trade from Tampa Bay near the end of spring training back on March 20th. Rengifo has now picked up 3 home runs in his last 13 games, but not a guy you think of as really a power hitter. Though that label applies to just about everybody with a bat in their hand this year.
Yeah, no kidding. Everybody's a power hitter if they get the barrel of the bat to it this year.
Indians lead it 3-1, 2nd inning. There is Albert Pujols. 39 years old. He'll turn 40 in January. And he still has 2 years left on his contract here with the Angels. I think initially a lot of people said, "Whoa, my goodness, that's going to be a brutal contract towards the end." But I tell you what, I know there's still 2 years to go, but
hey,
he's pretty steady as
most
she goes.
Most of those 10-year deals, they're going to go sour at the end. And let's face it. I mean, physically, you can only do so much. When you're 40 years old and playing this game, that's something very difficult to do. But he still has the 20-some home runs and the 80-some RBI.
I was going to say, to go off of what Matt's saying, that may be the only one that's worth it at the end. I mean, when you look at Biggie, and you're not putting down any of those other guys, they can't compete every single day. Pujols is competing every day and putting up decent numbers still.
I agree.
So he may be the one that's halfway decent at the end of it.
You know what's funny about that, Andre? We were watching a football game on the plane as we were flying in here last night. They had a graphic. Tom Brady and George Blanda.
Right.
Two guys only, I think, that have thrown
43 and 42. Yeah.
multiple touchdown passes in a game at that. You look at Brady. Brady still looks like Adonis.
He looks
George
25.
Blanda looked like he was 65 when he was in his 40s.
He looked like Santa Claus that last year he played.
So we all age differently, and I don't know. I mean, as you say, some guys get old quickly, and some guys are able to fight off Father Time for just a little bit more.
The ones that can do it in this game, it's a young man's game. Tip your cap to them. They're never going to get to that potential they once were for 10 years when they first started. But boy, if they can still shine every once in a while, which he certainly is doing, that's a-okay for him.
Arch, we usually talk about the legs being the first thing that go for the guys that get older. How is Pujols still able to drive the ball the way he's able to drive?
He's had leg and foot problems and issues for a long time, but I give him credit. He widens out his stance, and he's so strong.
That's in the hole. Perfectly placed by Rengifo.
You could see that one from where we sit. That was going to make it in the hole.
And this is what I was talking about last inning with Bieber. The Angels are not an easy team to strike out, and they're grinding through some at-bats here in this inning now. 3 out of 4 have reached via the hit.
Look, you always can do damage if you put the ball in play. You don't try to pull it. You hit it where it's pitched, and the last 2 hitters have proven that. Ground balls, you can play your shifts all you want, but when you don't try to pull the ball, you'll find good things can happen if you put it in play.
Anthony Bemboom, the Angels catcher. Another guy that came from Tampa Bay to the Angels in a trade this year. And this trade, though, happened just before the deadline back in July. Tried to hold up, but he went around, chased a breaking ball down and in.
Well, here's another 0-2 count for Shane. Maybe he can put him away, or maybe even get a ground ball to turn it.
Got him looking. That was a nice curveball. And Shane Bieber has his second strikeout, 2 down in the inning.
Yeah, he dropped that curveball in, and you can see that had the zone. I thought that might have been a little bit outside like Chang's was, but no, that one found the strike zone.
Brian Goodwin. He was a #1 pick of the Nationals, although it was the first-round supplemental pick. That was in 2011. Just missed a little low. Goodwin grew up in North Carolina. There's a high fly ball. Center field, not deep enough though. Mercado makes the catch. Angels get on the board. Albert Pujols with a massive homer. It's 3-1 Cleveland. Well, I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, have heard by now the tragic loss for this Angels ball club. Tyler Skaggs died earlier this year when the team was on the road playing the Rangers down in Texas. That's a memorial, just a makeshift memorial created by fans right outside the front main entrance of Angel Stadium here in Anaheim. And there's a ball hit to this hole in short, and what a play by Andrelton Simmons. That's why He owns 3 Gold Gloves.
Yeah, that guy there is about as solid as you can get at shortstop.
4 Gold Gloves.
Don't cheat him.
Missed one.
Yeah, look at that's backhand. He just gets up and he fires a seed. Plenty of time. He knew Santana was running. A very good play. And boy, that takes you get that leadoff hitter aboard, which the Indians have had the first 2 innings. They've scored both those innings. You get him on, you never know what can happen. Your odds certainly increase of scoring when you can get the leadoff man aboard.
Yasiel Puig looks at a curveball outside corner for a strike. Puig came up with a great hit in that first inning. As you say, sometimes just put the ball in play, maybe something good will happen. He hit it right off the end of the bat, and it stayed fair up the first baseline. And because of the way you defense certain hitters like Puig, Pujols is off the line, and so
he's guarding the hole.
He had no chance.
That was a Willie Mosconi shot.
Minnesota Fats.
Who?
Willie Mosconi.
Who are you guys talking about?
I'm trying to think.
I know
really
you don't
any,
remember.
There really aren't any modern pool players that.
No.
I know the Fats
Andre,
guy
you
brought up.
had to hear at least that, haven't you?
Yeah, I didn't
Or is
know
that way
one.
before you? You never played pool when you were young?
I wasn't allowed in those type places for growing up.
Sure you were.
Yeah, I don't know any
Should
pool
have came to
players.
Niagara Falls. We would have been bowling and playing pool.
Wake up John Q over there. Who was Paul Newman's character in?
Yeah,
no,
I was about to
Paul
say
Newman's character.
I can hear John Q all the way down here. Listen
The
to
Hustler.
him.
The Fast Eddie, wasn't it something?
John Q probably played in the movie. Ask him.
Swing and a miss.
No,
by
he directed
Puig.
it.
Yeah.
2 down. Third strikeout for Sandoval. Another look at that hit by
There it
Puig
is.
on StatCast AI powered by AWS.
Put some chalk on the end of that bat. That's what I'm talking about. That's beautiful.
56 miles an hour. But what was the spin rate?
Yeah.
Off the bat. That's what I want to know.
1,500.
Well, Sandoval settling in here. He's retired 5 in a row. And that fastball bottom of the zone to Jordan Luplow. Off to the right. Fast Eddie Felson. That was Paul Newman's character in The Hustler. There we go. And then they remade that with Tom Cruise, didn't they? Just a few years. Jackie Gleason played Minnesota Fats in the original, didn't he?
He was a good
Really good
player
pool
in his
player.
own right.
Yeah.
Yes, he was legit.
Andre, Jackie Gleason was in The Honeymooners. That was a television program back in the 50s.
Google it, Andre. You'll see.
I'm aware of that one. Jeez.
No, you're not.
Luplow sends one to deep right field. Back is Calhoun. Makes the catch shy of the warning track. The Indians go 1-2-3, and we'll head to the bottom of the third, 3-1 Cleveland. Indians on third inning. David Fletcher, Shohei Ohtani, and Justin Upton due up. Anyone gets on. Albert Pujols could bat as well here in the third.
Fletcher, a guy that never likes to swing at the first pitch. He has swung at the first pitch fewer than anybody. Only 7% of the time will he go after that first pitch. That's something like a la Mike Hargrove used to do. He would never swing at the first pitch, rarely.
That would make sense to me because he's walked 5 times in his last 2 games.
Yes.
So he wants to try and
Well,
work the count.
yeah, that is absolutely fine. Some hitters can do that, and they're not afraid to hit with 2 strikes. Other hitters get aggressive.
Well, I'll tell you what, Shane Bieber said, you can take all you want. I'm going to strike you out on 3 pitches.
Well, he's going to find out when you face Bieber, you may want to swing at the first pitch a couple of times. He'll learn.
Third K for Bieber.
Just watch the location here. Down and away, he just dots it. This is what Shane Bieber can do. I mean, his control, this is when he starts getting into his rhythm.
It's one thing, you said that a lot about Corey Kluber, not to compare the two, but, I think there was a mindset that Trevor Bauer, when he went out, his focus was he wanted to strike you out. Didn't care how many pitches it was going to take. He wanted to strike you out. Whereas Bieber, like Kluber,
Right.
their strikeouts are a product of pitching ahead all the time.
Yes, they are. And you know what? That's how they can strike out 8, 9, and 10 and pitch 7, 8 innings and stay in the game, and it's only 110 pitches.
Yeah.
That's the key to strikeouts is just command. That's why Bauer didn't have good command. He would lead the league in walks. He'd hit a lot of batters. This guy, Aaron Savali, is a guy that can, and I know he's only made 8, but he has that kind of control from what I've seen to this point.
0-2 pitch.
And Corey Kluber was by far the best we've ever seen.
But you look at the
We
center.
missed him this year.
Fletcher's down 0-2. Ohtani down 0-2.
Yeah.
So you put
Well,
the hitter on the defense.
The Pujols home run, 0-2. You keep the pressure on the hitter when you can go 0-2, 1-2. Their strike zone automatically expands because they don't want to strike out. They want to hit. Okay. Good try. He swung at that the first pitch, so he figures I'm going to bounce it on that plate and see if he'll go after it. Look at
He
that.
swung at it this time.
Yes, he did. The curveball. And what did Roberto say before when he was talking to Andre? I'm going to call more breaking balls now because he's had a good one. That's exactly what he's done. His last few strikeouts have come on that curveball.
Let's take a look at our Indeed player resume. Among the Major League strikeout leaders, Garrett Cole, Justin Verlander, and Shane Bieber.
What does it say to you guys, though, that Roberto Perez had a feel before they even went out to the bullpen tonight?
Yeah.
Knowing. And we talked about, and I talked to Tito and Carl, and they said that's been the greatest thing about Roberto is he remembers from start to start, from in between, what guys are working on, what's not working. They said it's amazing that he's that far ahead that knows what's going to work and not going to work.
That's his job, man. He knows. He said his breaking ball has been better recently, and we're going to go with it more because he knows these Angels can hit.
Right. Well, Bieber told me 2 days ago, he goes, I think I got the slider back to where I want it. So I chuckled when Roberto told me. I wanted to go, well, Biebs thinks the slider's back.
Andre, you just answered the question that we were talking about, I think maybe a week ago. That's why catchers become managers.
There you go. Good ball.
That's smacked.
No, off the end.
Off the end, yep. Long run from Luplow, and he's there in time to grab it. Boy, Shane Bieber looking very good here in the early going. After 3, it's 3-1 Cleveland.
On the grill. Come on out. Final 3 games that Minnesota and Cleveland will play this year, and hopefully this is going to have a lot of meaning to it. Go to Indians.com to get your tickets.
Franmil Reyes will lead off 4th inning for Cleveland. In for a strike.
Matt, Rick, I always love when we go to a new park and first day you see what they put up on the. Can you guys look out in right field and see what it says about Franmil Reyes and the statement that they say?
No.
I'll tell you after this pitch. It's pretty good. Believes he could be a model if he was not playing professional baseball.
There you go.
Franmil and I will have a conversation about that as soon as this game is over.
That's a big model.
You ain't Clyde. They'll make those big clothes.
The Jolly Green Giant, man. He's going to be ready. Modeling.
I had a conversation with Tito before the game about DHing and letting a young guy become a DH. And he said he's already told Franmil going into next year, once they get through this year, they do not want him to be strictly a DH. He says he does not want to do that with the young player. They're going to try to see where they can figure out in the outfield, but he does not want him just as a DH going forward for his career.
I don't blame him. You know, nowadays a lot of clubs, you know, there's not many strictly DHs left anymore.
They like
Cruz
to use
in
it as an off
Minnesota.
day. Right.
You know, they use it to give everybody off days.
Swing and a miss. That's the 4th strikeout for Patrick Sandoval. And he has set down 7 straight. Jason Kipnis first time up. Kaboom.
He jumped the first pitch. A fastball that he left middle of the plate. It left the bat going 100. It went 416 feet. He earned it. Straight away central. Goodwin ran out of room. Kipnis hit number 17. That's the difference in the game right now.
Jason Kipnis is 4th 2-run homer of the year. 9 solo shots, 3 3-run homers, and a grand slam. Low and away.
I like how Andre said he's going to. That's some ammo for you to talk to Reyes about, isn't it? Him becoming a model.
Better ask nicely.
Yeah.
If you ask nicely, they just team up on you. You got to go right at him.
That's right.
You can't be afraid. And so far, Fred Mills has been taking a lot of noise from the other guys, so I'll ask the right way.
Yeah,
don't worry.
if you don't ask the right way, you might be a little shorter on Wednesday when we see you next. There's a line drive base hit into center field.
Keep the swing rolling, Kip. He's 2 for 2. And you know that it looks like he just dropped the barrel head of the bat, just effortless. He chased a breaking ball out of the zone, then he gets another one, and guess what? He stayed back and really kept his hands back. And just able to put a nice smooth stroke on it out into center field. So the Indians now with 5 hits. And there you go. I had a feeling he wasn't going to last long.
Well, Sandoval goes 3 1/3. And after retiring 7 in a row, the 5th hit of the night that he allows is his last. So Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen has been made. And we'll tell you about the new pitcher when we come back. Go to the bullpen, and their new pitcher is right-hander Luke Bard. On in relief of Patrick Sandoval. Bard making his 26th appearance on the year. And in 36 1/3, he's given up 37 hits. He's walked 11, struck out 27.
Well, and one of those hits put him on the injured list August 5th with right tricep contusion after being hit by a comebacker off the bat of Carlos Santana on August 4th.
There's a pitch in there, fastball for a strike. Well, the Angels, I mean, they have been, we talk about injuries and every team deals with them, but they have been dealt, I think, an inordinate amount of blows in terms of their pitching staff in particular. Not to mention, as we've already talked about, the death of Tyler Skaggs, but you add to that all of the other injuries, and they will go through this entire season and not one pitcher will reach 20 starts.
That's incredible. And you know what, though? It seems like it's like that every year with this team, with the pitchers. For whatever reason, I don't know. Yeah. I think that's why they protect their young pitchers right now so much, where they keep them on a pitch count.
They're gun shy, right?
And they're very gun shy. Absolutely. I mean, because I mean, if you don't develop your own pitchers, it can become awful expensive if you have to go out and try and hit the free agent market. And they've got some big contracts as far as position players go with Upton and Pujols and Trout, and boy, pitchers to add to it, it's that much more.
Well, they're hopeful that Ohtani will start doing some pitching, not in games, but
next year,
pitching work before this season ends.
Yeah,
and then he'll be back as a starter.
Yes.
However they plan on using him for next year.
I bet they'll use him once a week, like what he did in Japan before he came over here. That's how usually they pitch over there, once a week. And then he can play as well. You need his bat? Oh, my goodness.
He turned around just in the nick of time, and the tag is applied. Kipnis is out, number 2.
Well, he took off and he continued to go, but the pitcher finally stepped off, Bard, and caught him on the run. He was going for another stolen base, but got caught doing it. Thought he had him timed, because once he looked down, watch, here he goes, jump, And then all of a sudden he stepped off and he knew it. So good timing. He thought he was going to go to the plate, guessed wrong.
In the dirt. There's already a lot of speculation that the Angels are going to go all in and try and bring Garrett Cole back home to Southern California.
Well,
Artie Moreno's never been shy of spending money.
No,
that's
he
for
hasn't.
sure.
No, he has not. But that's going to be an expensive ticket.
Artie Moreno, the owner of the Angels, shelled out big dollars to bring Albert Pujols here. Justin Upton. There's a liner in the hole, perfectly placed by Roberto Perez, and he is his second hit of the night.
Well, that's a pretty good job of going the other way. It came up. I don't know how far he had to reach to get that ball, but it seemed like, I mean, he had a bat that was about 4 feet long when you watch the swing. Watch it. That pitch was off the plate. He just waited and just slaps it.
Watch a little piece of the bat go flying off.
Yeah, it had to go right off the end. There it is. You're right. A shard goes flying off that bat, but it goes down a winner, man. Got the base hit.
And Yu Chang to the plate. Fastball just misses, ball one. That's ripped foul. One ball, one strike. 2 down here in the fourth. Indians up 3-1. By the way, that home run by Jason Kipnis back in the second inning was the 200th home run of the season for the Indians. Like round numbers.
Yeah, that's a nice round number.
It's funny you guys say that's a nice round number after being in Minnesota where they got signs everywhere about how many home runs they have and how many.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like 200 is a great number, but is it in today's game?
Well, that's true.
That's interesting you bring that up because that was where I was going next.
Okay.
Okay. It's the fourth most. Well, coming into tonight, they had 199. That was the fourth most in club history through 144 games. The 95 Indians were at 207. 97 Indians were at 205. 2000 Indians were at 202. So,
well, what's their record? 225. So, you know, there's a pretty good chance they could get that this year, a new record, like a number of other teams have done.
Yeah, and it's not that this team doesn't have some legitimately good power hitters, but you're talking about the 95 Indians?
Yeah. Right.
I don't know if I'd put this.
That was the
lineup
real
in
deal.
same class as that one. Sorry.
No, it's not even close.
Roberto goes. The 3-2 is fouled back, and we'll try again. But like Andre pointed out, I mean, every team is going through this. They're hitting home runs and setting records, and it's.
Yeah, well, we're going to find that out at the end of the year. How many teams, broke their team record for home runs? The number of runs. I saw an article last week in the newspaper, the minor leagues and the 2 AAAs, where they use the same balls as the major league team does. They shattered it. They went up by 58%. They hit 5,600 and something compared to 3,600. It's unbelievable. It's scary.
That's
Shared it by that much.
That's the kind of increase that makes you go, wait a minute, whoa. Huh?
Yeah, both AAA leagues were up 58%.
If you're running baseball, how is that not alarming to you?
You know what?
In any business, how is that not alarming?
I guess it gets back to, do the fans like it? Do they care? Are they enjoying it? If so, then you got to roll with it. You can't change it now. Genie's out of the bottle.
Yeah.
Swing. No, he held up.
Good take.
I've heard players, and I'll say this quickly, I've heard players say, hey, when we go to arbitration and things of that nature, are we going to take it? And like I've heard pitchers say this.
Yeah.
Are they going to take into consideration how the game has changed when it's time to pay us? I've heard a couple different pitchers kind of talk about this.
Well, no, they're
okay,
not
you've
gonna...
changed the ball, but are you going to take that out on us, or are we going to pay for it?
Well, the hitters are going to benefit for the home run numbers going up. Well, and maybe the pitchers will benefit too with the strikeouts going up too.
Fair enough.
I think they could both be beneficial to both.
I think depending on the situation, yes. But that's a big asterisk, because these general managers nowadays, nobody's flying by the seat of their pants. Nobody's doing it just on the eyeball check. They are well steeped in the analytics, and they'll have all of the information and how you stack up and where they think you belong in terms of the pay scale hierarchy.
It's a new game, but then again, the agents have the same numbers that they know too, analytically, and that's what they go in with. Well, I'm willing to bet no one's going to take a pay cut. How about that?
I think that's pretty safe to
say. No kidding.
When was the last time somebody did?
I don't know, but it hasn't been in a long, long time.
Well, I mean, you're talking about, obviously there are guys when they get towards the end of their careers, you know, if you want to.
Well, no, you can't cut anybody more than 20%, but I don't know anybody.
No, I'm saying
that's
if you're
cut.
a free agent, though. I'm not saying about cutting a salary, but if you had a contract that came to an end and you were making big dough.
Oh, yeah.
You want to still stay around for another year or two, you might have to come back for
Well,
less
that's
money.
already happening when you get minor league invites and no one's signing to free agents and things like that. That's what happens. That's how you lower that value. You know, you get invited to a camp and they're not going to give you a guaranteed money. That happened to a lot of players this year. And some pretty good ones at that sat out for a long time. You get non-tendered, you get an invite, and you got to go make a ball club.
You know what? What do we always say about baseball? It's a game of adjustments on and off the field.
Yeah, how much do you need?
Swing and a miss, and it's 2-2. Indians trying to do this with 2 outs in the inning. The base hit by Chang, the walk, or I should say the base hit by Perez, and the walk to Chang, Lindor. He walked and scored in the first. Rounded out last time up. And he popped him up. In foul ground, Albert Pujols makes the grab. And the Indians strand a pair. We go to the bottom of the 4th, 3-1 Cleveland. The showstopper. And Gary Cole has been on some kind of run. I was talking about him before.
Yeah,
He's a
you
free
just
agent at
mentioned
the end
his
of the
name.
year.
This guy, his stuff is as good as anybody's.
Punched out 14 at least in his last 3 starts. Meanwhile, the Astros, after decimating, who did they beat yesterday with it?
They beat
Seattle. 20.
Right.
What did they score?
21-1.
Yesterday?
Yes, 21.
So
15 tonight.
They go out against Oakland. They score 11 in the first 2 innings. There was nobody out in the second inning. They had hit
7.
6 home runs.
Oh, okay.
First team to ever hit 6 home runs in the first 2 innings of a game in Major League history.
That's like softball.
Albert Pujols lifts one to right on the first pitch he sees. And, all right, let's go back to our downtown Cleveland studios. And now Pulaski has the visual carnage that we saw tonight. Al, that home run, the one home run that Alvarez hit, it looked like it went through the roof.
Well, he broke the rookie record for Houston. Would he have 23?
23,
yeah.
First ball swinging, Cole Calhoun pulls it foul.
All right, you guys are talking about football scores. I got a quick one I want to give you. The Astros in the last 2 games, 36 runs, 39 hits, 21 extra base hits. Of course, my computer goes down. 10 strikeouts, but Astros pitching last 2 games, 1 run, 4 hits, 2 extra base hits, and 27 strikeouts.
Wow.
You said a softball team. I don't know if any softball teams can strike out 27 in 2 days.
It's like it's like their hitters are hitting against slow pitch, and their pitchers are throwing fast pitch softball. That's
Eddie Feiner.
The 1-1 in the dirt.
Once again, we talked about those Astros too, about playing in their own building. That's they're 55-17 at home. So that's the best record in all of baseball in your home field. Think about it, 55 home wins.
Dodgers are 56-20 in the National League, and the Yankees 53-22. But I think the Astros are going to be a load come October, regardless of who they draw, how the matchups fall. They've got Verlander, Cole, and Zach Greinke. I mean, nobody can match that.
Wade Miley's the total opposite of those first 2 you named. He's the changeup master that's having a really nice year for him.
Swung on and missed. Calhoun went fishing. That's 5 strikeouts now for Shane Bieber.
And the thing of it is, those two, between Houston and New York, just watch this pitch, disappeared. Slider down in the dirt, gets the strikeout. New York and Houston are going to be fighting for that home field advantage all the way through, and they're right now they're tied. So
7 straight set down by Shane Bieber. Andrelton Simmons singled to the right side of the infield first time up. By the way, good luck to the Columbus Clippers. They'll host Durham in Game 1 of the Governor's Cup Finals. That begins tomorrow night.
That's best of 5, correct?
I believe it. Yes, best of 5. Yep. Caught the outside corner with a fastball.
Well, that's where he makes you have to really protect the outside part of the plate when you can barely reach a fastball. He gets the strike to another 1-2 count, and there he goes.
Wow.
What a heck of a job that was by Simmons just to get a piece of it to stay alive.
We talked about Roberto's base hit last time up. Look how far off the plate this pitch is that Simmons goes out. Looks like he's swinging a broom handle.
But that's what forces you to do that. That's a tremendous job just to stay alive. How many guys could even reach that far out just to get a piece of that ball? That should have been a strikeout.
Andrelton Simmons just a month ago, a little more than a month ago, picked up his 1,000th career hit.
Simmons, a guy that has only struck out 28 times. Make it 29.
And that's 8 straight set down by Shane Bieber. He has struck out 6 in 4 innings of work. Stadium here in Anaheim, California. When my partner was roaming the outfield, it was known as the Big A.
Yeah.
And it was a completely different looking park.
Yeah, it was totally open out in left center field. They had the Big A that still sits out in this parking lot out in left center field.
They actually moved the A, right? They didn't move the field.
No, they moved the A. That's correct. You know, it wasn't enclosed. It was a a beautiful stadium, but at night, after about that third inning, you know, when the night air would get a little cool and that marine layer started setting in, it was tough to hit a home run. I mean, period. The ball carrying. If you were going to do it, you had to do it early.
And then over time, I believe it was the Rams.
Yes.
Football Rams
Yep.
moved in here.
Yes,
and
they
then they
did.
took the park you played in and really enclosed this park.
Yeah.
Then that changed the way it played for baseball dramatically. And then once the Rams left, that's what you see today. This was the newly renovated version.
Yes, out in center field where they have the rock, the fountains out there. And that used to be all seats, enclosed when the Rams played.
Yeah.
You know, they had probably 70,000 seats there. Yeah, it's come a long way. But I still think they have the countertops the same as back in 1970. When,
In our booth here,
yeah,
the workspace is a little confined.
yes, it is.
Well, the other thing, too, is I remember when Artie Moreno bought the ball club, one of the very first things he did was said, "I'm cutting beer prices."
Yeah.
And I mean, you talk about a fan favorite immediately.
Yes,
Man, that was it, baby. Popped him up, foul
That's
ground.
going to stay in play.
Fletcher, the third baseman, hangs on to that one away. Our mid-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Yasiel Puig with an RBI single just inside the bag at first. In the first, then in the second, Jason Kipnis, a two-run blast to straightaway center field. And the Angels' only run came in the bottom of the second inning on Albert Pujols' 22nd home run of the year. But more importantly for you history buffs out there, 655th career home run, 5 behind Willie Mays for 5th on the all-time list. You start getting into that territory. Not that he isn't already a Hall of Famer, but
Oh, my goodness, yes.
you're not just talking about Hall of Fame, then you're talking about one of the all-time greats. And that's a very short list. Left fielder Justin Upton takes care of that, 2 down. Yasiel Puig to the plate, 1 for 2. It is, though, maybe for those of us who were too young to really remember Hank Aaron, other than maybe just very briefly at the tail end of his career. Watching Albert Pujols gives us visually something that we can kind of think, okay, that's what Hank Aaron must have been like. This great player, but at the end still showed flashes, but wasn't quite the same player.
Some of the quickest wrists you'd ever see in the game. Hank Aaron. 2,000 RBIs. Pujols, 2,000 RBIs. Hank Aaron, what he could do, he could run better than what Pujols did. And Pujols could run better, much better than what he does now earlier in his career. But nothing like Hank. And Hank was a tremendous outfielder, too.
That's what I was going to say. He was a 5-tool player.
Yes,
period.
he was. He was one of the greatest. And they always argued, like, Mantle, Mays. And they always forgot about
Aaron.
Hank Aaron and Frank Robinson. Those two guys were slighted when it comes into the battles of, the New York market and, where Mays was out in San Francisco. But I'm going to tell you, those two guys were unbelievable. Everyday players. They would have said, well, we would have probably tried to do it more if I knew that Triple Crown was worth something. For average, power, and ribbies.
Fletcher throws out Puig. Indians go 1-2-3. Halfway through in Anaheim, it's the Indians 3, the Angels 1.
Rewards code is RUNNER. Visit Indians.com for complete details.
A runner is something that the Angels have not had since the second inning, because Shane Bieber has retired 8 in a row. And of those 8 in a row, 5 by strikeout. So the matchup that I was curious to see is the edge right now has gone to Shane Bieber.
Yeah, that breaking ball is coming into play. that Roberto talked about. And there you go, the first pitch changeup to Rengifo.
Rengifo singled his first time up. He pops this one up in the foul
Just
ground.
beautiful. Just
Chang.
slowed it down and then speeds it up and jams him.
Well, as I said, Bieber, one of the top strikeout pitchers. The Angels, the second lowest strikeout rate in baseball, so they're not an easy team to swing and miss against, but Bieber is
Look at the
plowing
breaking
through 'em.
balls. Look at the breaking ball. He got that one called on the fastball. Now he's getting him to chase because he's ahead of the hitters. He's doing a tremendous job getting, 0-2, 1-2 counts.
Wow, look at that. Sutton, Sam McDowell, you've got to go back
Well,
to.
when you talk about the strikeouts, yes, that's. But Bieber, I'm going to tell you something about the two of them, between him and Sutton Sam. Much more efficient than Sutton Sam was, because he'd throw 100 and some odd pitches. You know, you talked to Sam today, and we saw him at the Indians golf outing this year, and I talked to him about strikeouts and things like that. He said, well, Gripes, I was never loose until I had 100 pitches. You know, and I have to believe him, because he would walk a lot of guys too. This is what Bieber doesn't do. He doesn't walk people.
The efficiency, the
That's
machine-like
what
efficiency.
You have to be like that now if you want to go deep into ball games in today's world of pitchers with the 100 pitch count.
Jason Kipnis can't quite get there, and Anthony Bemboom snaps that string.
Well, I'll
Of
tell you what,
9
did you
in a
see the
row.
top spin on that ball? This is a very fast field too. That ball had some top spin on it. And that second hop right here, watch it get past Kipnis. That thing really took off. I thought he was going to get there and make a dive and catch it, but it beat him to the hole. He hit it very hard off the bat, though, I will say that, and that's probably where that top spin came in at 102 miles an hour.
So 1 on, 1 out for Brian Goodwin, who is 0 for 2 tonight.
Arch, our infielder, said no doubt in their minds this is the fastest infield that they play on, even more so than when you go to Tampa or Toronto.
How about Texas?
And Texas, yeah, it's very much like Texas.
You
Very
know what?
short.
That's what it reminds me of,
Yes.
and I knew it when I saw that hop get past Kipnis. I thought he was going to get there. No, that hop and went right past him. It was like a rabbit ball.
The grass is so thin.
Yep.
I mean, if you look down here, I don't know if we can get a shot, but it is so thin in the infield, unlike any other place we go to, really.
Yeah, I'd have to say Texas is about the only other one that would closely compare.
Well, this is the one outfield too, where it used to come out this Bermuda grass, and it would snake in the outfield when you shag. Andre, if you watch tomorrow, if you watch, you're down there and you watch outfield practice or guys, you'll see the ball snake out there. It doesn't come to you straight.
Fastball strike. And Bieber ahead 1-2.
That's the big difference in pitching. A 1-1 count when you can throw a strike as compared to falling behind. Huge difference in pitching. That 1-1 pitch.
Hitter now forced to cover more of the plate. Can't be quite as aggressive on certain pitches, so gives you just a little bit of an edge, and that's all you need sometimes.
That is all you need. So much different than when you get to 2-0, 3-1 counts, where a hitter can get a little more discipline. He doesn't have to swing at your good pitch.
Back out of play.
And good hitters will show you, like Goodwin's doing here, when he is behind, he's going to have to expand his zone, but they foul him off in hopes that you make a mistake as a pitcher. Well, Bieber doesn't make too many mistakes.
Yeah, Goodwin just got a piece.
Yep. Great pitch. It was out of the zone, but he's able to live for another pitch. You see Bieber is at 70 pitches here in the 5th inning. That 2nd inning, he had to go through 23. That is when they had the 3 hits in the inning, and they were able to get their 1 run on the board on a home run.
Downstairs.
See Roberto shaking his head. He's saying good pitch. He liked it. He just didn't chase after it. He liked the location of it. That's exactly what he wanted him to do.
Center field, Mercado. 2 down, third time Goodwin is flying out tonight. We'll be back with you on Wednesday night with the series finale. Indians live at 7:30. First pitch 8 o'clock Eastern time. Adam Plutko will go for the Tribe. Dylan Peters going for the Halos. On Sports Time Ohio and streaming on Fox Sports Go. David Fletcher 1 for 2. He had a single in the first inning. And then Bieber carved him up on 3 pitches in the third. Missed inside with a fastball here. So I mentioned that coming into tonight, Fletcher had walked 5 times in his last 2 games, after walking 7 times from August 1st up until those last 2 games.
Wow. Well, there are cycles you go through as a hitter, you know, where it seems like you may never get your walks because pitchers are hitting their spots and you're looking up and you're 0-2, 1-2, you're down and you're thinking, my goodness, I'm behind in the count every time I walk up there. It goes, there's cycles that happens. And then when you're in a good group hitting wise, you always seem to be in a good hitter's count.
Luplow will make the grab and Shane Bieber cruises through the 5th. And the Indians lead it 3-1. Tonight. I mean, the Yankees are. It's every.
Yeah,
week
I
it's
saw
an
that.
injury.
He came limping out. He's done. Left calf.
Addison
the
Russell
Cubbies-
got hit in the face by a pitch.
Yeah.
And Baez has the fractured thumb. So
That's
the
gonna
Cubs
hurt them.
called up their #1 prospect, one of their #1 prospects, Nico Horner from Double-A.
Well, Baez is almost like the energy of that club, depending on how much time he's going to miss.
We're getting a pinch hitter here for Jordan Luplow. Only got 2 at-bats tonight. Greg Allen will pinch hit here in the 6th. And he jumps on the first pitch and hits a line drive single to right. And the Indians have their leadoff man aboard and their 7th hit of the game. The other 2 times that the Indians got their leadoff man aboard, they scored. That was in the 1st and 2nd innings.
Right. Well, 1 pitch. Greg Allen gets himself a base knock. Hit number 7 for the Indians.
The Angels do have a left-hander up in their bullpen.
I want to see what kind of move this guy has and see if Allen will have an opportunity to put his running shoes on.
Well, Luke Bard didn't need a move back in the 4th inning. Jason
That's
Kipnis thought he
true.
had him timed and he took
That's
off.
true.
And Bard was able to step off and got him in a rundown, threw him out.
Yeah, he held it a little extra longer.
And Franmil looks at a fastball in for strike 1. Ball gets away.
Go.
Greg
Go.
Allen is up, and he's on his way to second. And the throw by Pujols not in time. So Greg Allen moves into scoring position on the error.
I want to see if this error is going to go on Pujols or the pitcher. I didn't see exactly where that throw went, but it looked like it just deflected off the glove of Pujols, unless it was thrown at the runner. I think he could have caught that ball. I really do. I mean, not saying he would have put a tag or anything on it, but you got to catch the ball.
And that's how the error is charged to Pujols.
Well, that's a big base right now. Now, see if Reyes can get him in.
Big chopper, and that's going to go foul. Now the Angels get a right-hander up alongside the lefty, so they've got double barrel action. Obviously, you get into September baseball, bullpens are bloated, so if you want, you can match up.
Yeah,
hitter by
for
hitter.
one hitter if you want, and you can do it in the 5th and 6th inning, right where we're at.
There's a good pitch, and Reyes just looked at a fastball, 1 down. Here comes Brad Ausmus. He'll go to the left-hander. We'll take a timeout with the Indians up 3-1 in the 6th.
You know, something that is special, especially when you get to this late in the season.
That's a devilish amount of innings pitched by the Angels.
Devilish. I got you. I was listening.
All right, here's Adalberto Mejia.
Well,
he might have only be in for one bat.
Yeah, I think that's all he's here for. Like you said, look at their bullpen guys. They got 4. They got 12 guys. So yes, I would say one hitter.
Yesterday he came on, faced one guy, walked him, and that was it. Formerly of the Twins, he was claimed off waivers from St. Louis. He was only pitched in 2 games for the Cardinals. So this is his 3rd different big league club.
Yeah, we saw him all the time with Minnesota.
Yeah.
A number of times. He's made starts against this ball club in his day with the Twins.
Well, Kipnis is red hot, boy. 2-run homer in the 2nd, singled in the 4th. That gives him 7 hits in his last 10 at-bats.
Yeah, and then 2 hits today off the left-hander, Sandoval, who started. So he's going to have another chance to get one here. Try and drive in a run.
I guess the really positive thing that I noticed, especially against Sandoval, the lefty, that front shoulder never flew open.
He looks
very,
he's seeing the ball very well to me. I think he's picking it up well. And the one pitch he hit at the home run was the fastball that he was ready for, and the base hit was a slider. He kept his hands back, and he did it just effortless, just a line drive. Didn't try and do too much with it. Stayed back on it and put a good stroke on it. But when guys are seeing the ball well and they seem to be getting into a pretty good groove, the balance is very good. You don't see them out front. You don't see them late on a pitch. They're just picking it up very well and just hitting it where it is pitched.
Well, and the Angels, they might have a picture of him, a wanted poster in their clubhouse. He's gone 7 for 13 against Angels pitching this year, Kipnis has, with 3 homers and 8 runs batted in. And that, you're talking about 3.5 games.
Yeah, that's right.
Had a good swing, but fouled it back.
The Indians have had the Angels number over the last 3 or 4 years. They had a streak where they beat them 12 straight times.
There's the full count. And the payoff pitch. And another foul right back. Well, over the last 5 seasons,
look at that.
22-6.
Yeah, they're 3-0 this year, but you can see they've had a 6-1, 6-0. Last year they split, but this year they're looking to go 4-0 here tonight with 2 remaining. 22-6, pretty good.
Again, the 3-2. And Kipnis pops this one up to shallow left. In comes Upton. And the Angels finally get their nemesis.
And out comes Ausmus.
So with 2 down, we'll have another pitching change. By NOCO tomorrow at 6:30 as they discuss the push for the postseason, Oscar Mercado's magic, and a streak to remember. It's tomorrow following Drennan Live on Sports Time Ohio and streaming on Fox Sports Go. Well, the new pitcher is Justin Anderson. Mr. Anderson. 48th appearance of the year. 3-0, a 5.01 ERA. And we'll go downstairs to Andre Knott.
All right, we've had a running thing all season where Roberto Perez and I, before a game, I always say hit the ball to right field, and we laugh. So right before he went up to this bat, he looked over at me, came up and said, hey, you owe me some money or call home to Tony. He says, I got 2 hits tonight, but I got no more bats after this one. He's broke both of his bats. So he's down to his last bat. So he said, anybody at home that's awake, send him more bats. He's running out of them. But he's got 2 hits, Arch.
Well, he can use. That's all right. They can go. There's other bats in there. He doesn't have to use his, does he? Is he one that he's got to use his?
He usually uses his own. But if he keeps getting hits to right field, he'll find some sticks.
Sure. I'm sure there's somebody else that has a very similar model to him.
They've got overnight shipping.
As long as Tony's awake and not crying still.
Oh, shots fired.
Still too soon, Andre.
I'm sure your phone will be ringing here soon.
And your luggage may or may not make it back to Cleveland.
It may not ever get back to Cleveland.
Maybe dropped over the Midwest.
2 down, runner in scoring position. And Anderson delivers. It's low, but he went too far, says Bill Welke.
Yeah, he tried to decoy him right there. See, when he comes back, if you talk to him, Andre, tell him he's got to swing at pitches on the plate. He hit that one off the plate, but still got a base hit his last time up.
Hey, as a hitter, you take it how you get it.
Well,
all right?
that's right. But I'm saying when you get to 2 strikes, you got to expand your zone, which he did.
Inside.
Let's watch the 2 hits. Here's the first one coming. That one was down in the trademark, up around the label, but he got him a base hit. Here's the second one. There you go. That one was away. He had to reach for that one off the plate, but still got a base hit.
And he pulls that foul. How many bats do you suppose Lou Gehrig and Babe Ruth ever broke?
Not many.
Those were like tree trunks.
Yeah, those, I don't know the size that Gehrig swung, but I know Babe used a heavy, heavy bat.
And they didn't have
club.
tapered handles back then. So
No. They'd carve it right out of a tree. They were heavy.
But in all honesty, they
logs.
probably didn't go through
No,
as many
I
bats.
would agree with that. You see lighter now. The lighter, the wood is, you know, it's easier to crack. You hit them off the end. They cup the ends of these. And that's how you break a lot of those bats. With the cupped end, you know, it's about a ½ an ounce of weight out of the barrel of that bat. And when you hit it towards the end, they will crack and shatter.
We had a story, I remember several years ago, about, I want to say it was Joe DiMaggio, went through an entire season with, I want to say 5 or 6 bats.
I could believe that.
Which was just...
Well, when you hit the ball on the barrel every time, it's tough to break.
Yeah. Low, full count.
Yeah, when you get into a good groove as a hitter, that one bat can last you quite a while. I mean, you know, before somebody gets inside on you, and it's going to happen eventually. You get tired, you're not seeing it, but
3-2 pitch. And it's outside and low.
Saved his bat, Andre. He's all good.
For now, but you guys talk about broken bats. On Authenticator, when we were in New York, I was sitting next to during the game, and we were talking about broken bats. And he says, yeah, you know, bats are breaking, but not as bad as it was 4 or 5 years ago.
Right.
He said it has changed tremendously how many bats they take in that are broken compared to then.
Yeah,
so the bats are stronger.
It's the type of wood I think they're using now.
And they're not exploding.
Right.
They used to explode where it was dangerous. People were getting hurt.
And I also know that they I don't know, it has something to do with the grain of the wood. And there's a little spot on every bat where even if the bat's lacquered and colored, they have to keep one little spot open so that they can inspect the grain. So every bat gets inspected, and I think maybe they're just more diligence going into making sure bat's ready to go, and it's not going to just get splintered on contact the first time.
Well, there were a lot of bats that would, when we used to take batting practice, we tape the barrel. You know, get the white tape that they use in the trainer's room and tape it so it would quit from splitting. But you'd use it as just a batting practice bat, not a gamer. Because when you saw the thick grains, you'd save those for game. You know, you'd set them aside when you'd go through a dozen of your bats.
The 0-1. Chang goes chasing. Thicker grain meaning more dense.
Yeah, thicker grain means yes, and less splitting up on the barrel. Absolutely. Harder the wood. But you see, it's tough to see the grains with the dark bats. And the lighter bats, you can really see them much better. But they have, you know, more bat companies now that I don't know how many are actually out there, but there's a lot more that used to be around. There used to be Louisville. And Rawlings would, you know, put some bats out, but they were tougher to get back in the 70s.
You're right, though. There are a number. I mean, there's multiple companies.
Yeah, there's at least a half a dozen.
Yeah.
At least. You go to the winter meetings and you see all the bat companies over there then where they're trying to promote their bats.
Albert Pujols, 1-2 pitch. Yu Chang crunches one. Deep right center field. Gone to Souvenir City. A 2-out, 3-run homer for Yu Chang, his first in the big leagues. And you want to talk about one happy trot around the bases. Look at that smile.
Well, he should smile. He looked like he took that ball. That looked like it was more on the inner part of the plate. And he shot it out to right center field. Yeah, congratulations to Chang. And he opened this game up, made it a 6-1 ball game.
That was crunched, Dan. I tell you what, it's a good indication as to why the Indians feel strongly about Chang and his power.
Well, once again, now that's the third inning that they had their leadoff man aboard, and they scored in all three. Look at that fastball. That was pretty much middle of the plate. That was not located very well by Anderson. And Chang took him the other way.
Lindor with the ground ball to Pujols. Long flip. Inning over. Halfway through the 6th. A 2-run homer by Jason Kipnis. Now a 3-run blast from Yu Chang deep into the Anaheim night. 6-1 Cleveland.
No chance of getting it now.
Shane Bieber with his own personal cheering section. Many of them wearing the Gauchos uniform top from UC Santa Barbara, where he pitched collegiately. Shohei Ohtani pops one foul out of play. He is 0 for 2 tonight. Bieber has struck out 6. He has given up 5 hits, the only run coming on an Albert Pujols homer in the 2nd. Greg Allen, after pinch hitting for Jordan Luplow, stays in the game in left field. Just missed low and away. Out of play. Now the 2-2 offering is swung on and missed. And Shane Bieber has his 7th strikeout, and that's now 10 consecutive games where he has struck out at least 7 or more.
Well, I'll tell you, he goes change up, and let's go heater. And that's where he gets them. You see, you slow him down, and then you throw one by him with the heater. And then if you start him with fastballs, you throw the curveball and get him in chase. He's in an excellent rhythm.
Now Justin Upton 0 for 2. And that's the approach I figured we're going to see more of. First ball swinging, because when he's proven that I'm going to get ahead of you, what sense would it make to sit up there and try to work the count, man?
You know, and when you face a team like the Angels, he faced them. Last time he faced them was August, and that was only the first time he's ever faced them. We watch him pitch every start, and the more you face him, you're not going to let him get ahead of you. You're going to be a little more aggressive early in the game. You're going to try and swing at some of those pitches and force him to throw that breaking ball for strikes early.
There's 2 quick strikes on.
I'm telling you, once he gets past that 2nd inning, he settles in, and he locks it in for a good 4 innings after that.
Justin Upton, 9 for his last 29 coming into tonight with 3 home runs over his previous 7 games. That after he had gone through a 7 for 40 skid. But we saw that when he was with Detroit. He could be streaky, and when he could get hot, boy, he could kill you.
Yes, he's a good breaking ball hitter. He'll stay back on it. And Shane struck him out on a called fastball earlier. He's going to try and do that again right there.
Oh, Shane cuts it off and throws him out. 2 down.
You know, Bieber now 194 innings. He's well over the 200 strikeout mark. He'll be over 200 innings in his next start.
240 strikeouts for Bieber. This is the only run of the night for the Angels, and they tell me it's the longest home run of the year for Albert Pujols.
Well, and it came on an 0-2 pitch, remember. A high fastball. He might have wanted it elevated a little more than that, and he got on top of it 438 feet later. Change up to the right-hander.
Well, he swung, I believe he swung at the first pitch last time up and flied out to right field.
Homers, 2,067 ribbies. My goodness. Over 3,100 hits. 658 doubles, 1,329 extra base hits for this man. Yeah, you won't see a hitter like him come around in a long, long time.
Andrelton Simmons just got his 1,000th career hit. He has 1,300 extra base
yeah,
hits.
I've got like 1,250 or 60 hits. He's got more extra base hits. It's crazy.
Three-one pitch fouled off, full count. And you know, we were talking about bats and bat companies. Albert Pujols put one of the bat companies on the map. I mean, Jack Marucci, his bat company, he got Albert Pujols to use his bats. And then everybody else
when
says,
they started.
what are you swinging? Well,
yeah.
Let me get some of those. Right center field and deep. Mercado is back at the wall, reaches out and makes a leaping catch at the wall and just smiles at Yasiel Puig on his way back to the dugout. Boy, this kid has made some fine plays already on this road trip. Didn't have any more room to go. And the Angels go 1-2-3. And our great clip of the game yesterday. How about Oscar Mercado? And the day he had in Minneapolis, running into Puig, knocking Puig to the deck. But he jumped up, said, I'm all right, and then showed Puig the Hulk muscles. And then he made a fantastic running catch, over 100 feet on the dead sprint.
108 feet to be exact.
And now tonight, he ran a long way again to take extra bases away from Pujols. And the Beliebers are loving it here tonight.
There you go. Yes, sir. Catch that ball. They're having a good night tonight so far.
Now the new pitcher for the Angels is Jake Jewell. Fifth pitcher of the game.
It's funny, you want to look up at the scoreboard and say it. They've got Mercado up there rated as the best defensive outfielder in the Cardinals organization by Baseball America in 2017. Well, he showed it in the last couple of nights we just showed you. He's made some very good catches this year. There's no doubt about it. He's just starting to get comfortable in center field. He's just starting to get to know the ballparks.
Ground ball up the middle. Cut off by Simmons. Look at that release. Are you kidding me? Andrelton Simmons, the four-time Gold Glove winner, with the great hands and the quick release.
He got rid of that ball lightning quick. Mercado's looking up at the scoreboard. First he thought it was going to get through, but now that it didn't, he got rid of that ball, I mean, in a fraction of a second. Watch how quick the hands are. Boom. Before he even took a step, Matt, he was in, and he knew he had to get rid of it the way Mercado's getting down the line.
So with one out, Carlos Santana to the plate. And that's outside ball one. So Jake Jewell, last year in June, suffered one of those freak injuries, but potentially devastating as well. June 27th at Fenway Park. Wild pitch. He goes to home plate to cover. And on the play as the runner slid in, broke his leg.
Oh.
And did not pitch again after that injury on June 27th until April 12th of this year. And the guy who just grounded out, Carlos Santana, Fenway Park, home plate, fractured leg.
Yes, I remember that very well.
Rookie year, wasn't it?
Well, he was taking a throw from right field and had the collision at home plate.
It's very, I think, rare that you see a an injury that severe, a broken leg in the game of baseball, but every once in a while,
well,
get
yes.
tangled up.
Well, back then when that happened to Carlos, you were allowed to collide at home plate.
Yeah, that's true.
You were allowed to take him out, and the throw was coming from right field, and you don't have your eye on the play, on the base runner. You're looking at the baseball to try and come back and tag that runner, and that's what happened to him. And then after that, I don't know if it was the next year, it happened to Buster Posey, and then all of a sudden that's when things changed.
Yeah.
It didn't happen when Santana. It happened to Santana, but it did when it happened to Buster Posey.
Yasiel Puig with a 2-out walk. And up comes Greg Allen. Greg Allen lined a single into right field, and then came around to score on the home run by Yu Chang. There's another guy that's Southern California ties, a little bit farther south, San Diego, where he grew up. And he's got a base hit again, his second hit of the night. So once again, with 2 outs, the Indians trying to put together another rally, although they already lead at 6-1.
Well, they've seen Allen's seen 3 pitches. He has 2 hits. Came in to pinch hit last inning and got that inning started.
Matt, it's funny you bring up Greg being from San Diego, not that far away. So before the game, Jordan Luplow said, "Hey, you playing for free these couple of days with all your family coming in?" Greg said, "No, no, no, no. My first trip to the West Coast, I had all my family out here and I played for free." He goes, "Just my grandma, my mom, and dad. It's the only people I'm taking care of on this trip."
How many, Arch, back when you played, did you shell out for free tickets for your friends when they would come to Cleveland?
Absolutely. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Niagara Falls would come up every week.
How many do you remember a number like saying to Segs, "Hey, I need"?
Well, I'd go with 30, sometimes more than that. And half the time they'd stay in the same hotel room. Yeah, it was somebody every week, and I'd get a call that, "Hey, I don't have any tickets here," and I'm thinking to myself, my goodness, it was crazy. You try to take care of most of them within reason. I mean, if it's your first time coming here and you live here, you gotta bring the family and some friends.
So Matt, Art's still doing the same thing. The boys come in when we're at home and they stay with them, right? I've been doing this for 40 years.
Well, they stay in the same hotel room. We know that.
You've been doing this forever. That's why you're still doing it, I guess.
That's exactly. Well, I get fed well.
That's
they
true.
Bring up food
That's
from
true.
all the Italians back there. Bring up the subs, the pizza,
They
the
are
bread.
not freeloaders.
Yes, they take care of us very well.
The Gauchos from UC Santa Barbara out here supporting Shane Bieber tonight, who's pitched marvelously. Swing and a miss by Reyes. It's 2-2. You're right, though. We've had a number of players come out here who were from. Jarrett Wright was from right down the street here.
All the time. I mean, there's some teams that.
2-2, swing and a miss. Reyes went fishing, and that'll end the inning. Stretch time in Anaheim. It's 6-1 Cleveland.
Here's at Elk and Elk, the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio.
Back here in Anaheim, California on a beautiful night. And the Indians are up 6-1. Bottom of the 7th inning. Shane Bieber facing Cole Calhoun, who is 0 for 2. Bieber has struck out 7.
And once again, and we told you, that's the 10th consecutive start that Bieber has at least 7 strikeouts in a game. Longest current streak in the majors.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Calhoun can't believe Bieber's ability to just pepper
Yeah, well,
the strike zone
how
time
about
and time
this?
again.
67 strikes out of 94 pitches. Only 27 balls. He just continues to. The command of Shane Bieber is really something special. Where pitchers nowadays, I mean, they're more concerned about velocity as compared to command. But it goes to show you, if you can command and not overthrow, which Bieber does, you can throw about 70% strikes almost every time you go out there.
Swung on and missed. A nice slider.
Yes, it was. That's the pitch.
8th strikeout of the night.
Straight down. And Roberto was holding true to his word. I'm going to use that slider a lot tonight. And boy, has he ever. Shane also has the curveball, but it slows down. But that slider, when it's working, it goes straight down. He's got a good changeup he's used tonight. And as always, the explosive fastball. 93 paint. That makes it look like it's 96, 97 when you can locate it with the way he does. This is a guy, too, that's tough to strike out, but Bieber got him last time. He went 90 consecutive plate appearances without a strikeout.
Popped out a play to the right.
And once again, Bieber has him 1-2. Yeah, every start, Matt, you look it up. I'm telling you, it's 67 to 70% every single start.
It's down low. Full count. Andrelton Simmons, I said earlier, picked up his 1,000th career hit July 28th. August was a tough month. He missed 19 games on the injured list with an ankle injury. But right back here in the month of September, playing at a high level. That play he made defensively on Oscar Mercado is as good as you'll see. Right field, Puig makes the grab, 2 down. And we'll get a word from Cleveland Clinic.
Cleveland Clinic. Get the care you need when and where you need it. Visit clevelandclinic.org/access.
The batter will be Luis Rengifo, who is 1 for 2. And Shane Bieber, the story of the night here, as he has come back home to Southern California and been very impressive. Listen to the crowd. His crowd.
That's great, isn't it? He's going, baby. He's going. We'd like to end it on a strikeout the way he's pitched tonight. You know, I'm sure this will be his last batter at 105 pitches. Get that. You can get 9 strikeouts and no walks. That was a good pitch.
Stays foul. Yeah, this is it for Bieber. He knows it. Tito knows it.
Yeah, I mean, you sure do. He knows he's got to make one more pitch.
His cheering section probably knows it as well.
Oh, they'll be fired up tonight after the ball game. You know, when he's done and gets everything done in the clubhouse, they'll be out to see them all.
Rengifo stays alive, if only for the moment. And the string is out. All right, Shane, your fans want you to deliver here.
There it is.
What a job. What a night. What a moment. Thanks, Al Jason. And Shane Bieber, what a moment.
Yeah, that's special. That's his first time pitching in this ballpark. 7 innings, just 5 hits, 1 run, 8 punchies. Let me see. 9, 8.
Jason Kipnis down on strikes. 1 down here in the 8th. At the end of the inning, as Shane Bieber walked off, those people that came out to support him tonight.
That was one heck of a job, man. They were loud. He should have been wearing his white uniform tonight. Home game for Shane.
And a fastball strike. He tried to hold up, but he went around. 2 down. And here's our Miller Lite hold true moment. Yu Chang with a decisive blast. It was still a 3-1 game at this point. Anything could happen, right? But that took the wind out of any potential comeback hopes of the Angels, I think.
Other way, 432 feet for your first homer. That's impressive. Right center field.
Andre, did you track that ball down for him?
No, he didn't.
I need Mad Max to help me. Leave me alone.
He's the negotiator.
Yeah, I need a negotiator. Is he awake? I know he's a little older now.
No, you got to help him out here on the road.
I will do my best, but I can't. It's hard for me to get out in right field. I'm kind of in a cage tonight here. It's like the hockey.
You know what? You should bring back the streaker.
Hey. There's a player on our team that wants to bring that back.
Of course. I know exactly who it is, too, without even asking you for a hint.
No, let's stay right there where we're at.
Swing and a miss. Yu Chang struck out on the second, walked in the fourth, and then, as we just showed you, got into one. Opposite field. And Jake Jewell delivers its foul back.
Come on, Dan, catch it.
Boy, that was a pretty good pitch. And Chang maybe catches a break, runs the count full. By him at 94. And I'll tell you what, Jake Jewell comes in, strikes out the side here. He fanned 4 in a row.
Ballpark, you're on the go for their playoff push. Visit Indians.com for the tickets.
Carlos Carrasco coming on to pitch in relief of Shane Bieber. Carrasco will have a pinch hitter. And then the top of the order. This is Jared Walsh. Interesting in that you get a left-handed pitcher, pinch hitter for a left-handed hitter. Obviously just a case where Brad Ausmus wants to get a look at this guy.
Sure. Coming off the bench, absolutely.
By the way, our research expert Mike Pachta dug up a pretty good one here on Shane Bieber's performance tonight. He got the 240 strikeouts, 241 once it was all said and done. That's tied for 15th highest season total in club history with 19-year-old Bob Feller back in 1938. But interestingly enough, and this goes to your point earlier about the efficiency with which he pitches. In 1938, if you can believe this, Bob Feller walked 208 batters.
Oh my goodness.
Bieber has walked 38.
Well, you talk about saving your arm.
Swung on and missed.
208 batters in a year?
He struck out 240 and walked 208. But he was 19. He was still trying to figure things out, obviously. Walsh sends a drive to deep center field, and it is gone. Oh, my. Hit that one on top of the center field camera perch.
He smoked it. I don't know what Mercado was doing up on top of the fence, because he would have had to go another 50 feet. So that's how the Angels score. That's another solo home run. But he went down. Watch the left-handed swing. He went down and smoked that ball straight away center. And I mean, that hit on top of the camera pay out there where the cameramen are. It's a good thing they had that there. That sunscreen. That hit on top of there loud and clear.
Brian Goodwin 0 for 3 takes a strike. And there's a pop left field. Long run though. Tough play for Greg Allen. I don't know if he can get there. He can't. It's foul. No harm done. In fairness to Rapid Robert, back in 1938, when he walked 208 batters and struck out 240, he pitched 277 and 2/3 innings.
A lot of pitches.
Still a lot of walks, but
yes.
Yeah. The year before he went into the U.S. Navy in 1941, he threw 343 innings and had 194 walks against 260 strikeouts. Swing and a miss. Carrasco strikes him out. Well, our Ford storylines brought to you by your Northeast Ohio Ford dealers. Shane Bieber coming home. Nearby Laguna Hills, California, just 20 minutes down the road where he grew up. UC Santa Barbara product had a huge crowd following him tonight. His every move, they were cheering their hearts out. And Bieber went 7 innings, striking out 8, 111 pitches, and gave up just 1 run. Didn't walk a batter. At one point retired 9 in a row. By Carrasco and into center field, a base hit. Let's get a word right here from Pella.
Pella has unbeatable energy efficient windows, double, even triple pane glass. Visit a Pella showroom today.
Shohei Ohtani to the plate, 0 for 3. Bieber retired the 17 of the last 18 batters he faced on it. I mean, just the efficiency was really impressive.
Yeah.
Shohei Ohtani. No doubt this kid has a huge following of fans.
Top of the foot. He's got padding there. He's got padding on his front arm, as many hitters do nowadays. Look at the padding there, because you can tell he does that often. He has those hands very high up in the strike zone, but his power is actually right center to left center.
Ohtani, just 25 years old. He turned 25 in early July. And as I said, the Angels are very hopeful that they'll get him back to being a two-way performer next year as a pitcher and hitter. Sends one to deep center, but Mercado has it measured and makes the catch for out number 2. And that'll bring up Justin Upton. 6-2, Indians lead it here in the 8th inning. away. And a rare. We'll see how it's scored. I'm assuming it's a wild pitch.
Yeah, I would think it is. That was way in off the plate. It almost hit Upton. I thought it did.
I thought it did too, to be honest with you.
I mean, watch this ball run and take off. And there's no way that Roberto could get that ball. That deflects off hitters sometime and you see him get drilled. He's going to go out and have a talk with Carrasco.
Swung on and missed. Nice slider by Carrasco. And with 2 down, count goes to 2-1 on Upton. And now 3-1. Good off-speed pitch. That's been his best pitch to Upton, the slider.
Yeah, you don't want to leave it up there, though. He's a good breaking ball hitter. He threw him the 2-0 slider and then that one right there. Full count.
And the 3-2 pitch is swung on and missed. He came back with it a little harder, a little firmer with that slider. And Carrasco strikes out a pair, yields a run. We'll go to the ninth, 6-2 Cleveland. Frankie Lindor, home runs out of the leadoff spot. 66 since the start of last year for Lindor. He is numero uno. Jake Jewell stays on for a 3rd inning of relief. And Pujols will take it himself, 1 down.
He's been on a roll. He had 4 consecutive strikeouts until that ground out there by Lindor.
Kevin Smith is the new catcher for the Angels. They have used 5 different starting catchers this year, including Kevin Smith.
He used to be with the White Sox.
Yep, Matthew Lucroy, Dustin Garneau, Max Stassi, and Anthony Bemboom, who we saw starting here tonight. Lucroy started 61 games. That was the most.
He's no longer with him. He's with the Cubs now.
Yeah. Remember, he got
smoked at
waylaid at home plate.
Yes, he did.
Violent collision against the Astros. But, we always talk about what most managers want out of the catching position is to work the pitching staff. Offense is a bonus, but they're 25th in the majors in home runs as a group, 14 total home runs. And the overall combined batting average is just .217.
Well, they truly haven't found an everyday catcher yet. They're in search of.
Line drive to short, and there are 2 down. Take another look at this week's schedule coming up for the Indians tomorrow night. The game will be seen on YouTube with Jim Thome in the broadcast booth. Arch and I and Andre will be back with you Wednesday for a 8 o'clock Eastern time start to wrap up this series. Then we're coming home to take on the Minnesota Twins. Big 3-game weekend series in Cleveland. Hope to see you out there at the ballpark. Carlos Santana 0 for 4 tonight. A catcher once himself, and talking about the Angels' difficulties at the catching position, it reminds me of a great quote from Casey Stengel, who once said, you need to have a catcher, because if you don't, you have a lot of pass balls.
How insightful. Unless you're taking batting practice, you bring up the batting cage.
Right. You ever have one of those situations where you had some guys banged up and the manager was looking for an emergency catcher, asking for volunteers?
I'd be down in the tunnel. He wouldn't find me, I guarantee you. There's no way. But yeah, hey, could anybody be my third catcher? They would ask, you know, and looking for a show of hands. I would never raise mine.
The Indians go in order. We go to the bottom of the ninth. Big night for Shane Bieber, returning home to Southern California. And fans who turned out to watch him were thrilled with his performance. Now it's up to Tyler Clippard to get the final 3 outs.
Yeah, and a good night for the West Coast Indian fans that have
indeed
come out to the ballpark and see their tribe. You know, it's been weird. Remember last year we opened in Seattle and we end up coming here in the second series of the year. This year it's not until mid-September. We'll be out here a number of times next year with this schedule, playing the National League West. We'll visit San Diego, Los Angeles Dodgers.
Down low. Albert Pujols homered in the second inning. The Angels their first run of the night. Their second run came on a solo homer by pinch hitter Jared Walsh in the 8th.
A little different arm angle there from Clippard, and you know, Pujols thought that might have been a little high. He asked the umpire, but he got the call.
You got it, man. You got it. You know that.
Swing and a miss. He
Nice
struck him
splitter.
out.
That thing took off. Just watch it. Watch this pitch going down and in on that splitter that he throws. Starts it out about belt high, and that thing goes about 80, 81 miles an hour, and the movement just coming down and in, and swings over the top of it. He has that. He's got the slow curveball to go with it. He is, you know, he maximizes that fastball that's right around 90, 91. He elevates it and it makes it look a lot quicker than what it really is. Change up.
Just down low with the curveball. You know, one more thing that's impressive about Albert Pujols, I wanted to look something up just to check to be sure. Talked about all of his various accomplishments offensively and what he's been able to do. Hits, home runs, runs batted in, extra base hits. That strikeout tonight for Pujols was only the 1,273rd of his career. He's not even in the top 150 of the all-time strikeout
with all the
whiff
numbers
guys.
that he's put on the board.
Think about 39 years old, and yet he's not, you think.
That's old school player right there.
I think I remember hearing when I was a kid, you know, Babe Ruth hit the most home runs, but he also struck out the most times.
Yeah.
That's what you kind of combine big power numbers with.
Yeah.
You're going to have a lot of strikeouts.
Reggie Jackson's, Jim Thome's.
Jim Thome, yeah.
You
But
know.
Pujols has been a different animal.
He's one of those guys like old school, DiMaggio, the good hitters, the good major productions. They don't strike out much, and they can do a lot of damage. And think about how many times they walked him in his heyday, too. By the way, that guy he's talking to is not too shabby over there in the foreground.
Yeah, Mike Trout, career high 45 home runs this year. But we won't see him in this series, or at least we're not expected to.
That's too bad. You always like to see the best players play this game.
Missed outside. Cole Calhoun with a one-out walk. Murph says that Albert Pujols never had a 100 strikeout season. And now we're seeing guys eclipse 200 strikeouts in some cases.
That's true. But this guy's, he's got in his career more walks than strikeouts. Yes, he's a player you will never see again for a long, long time if you do.
Ground ball foul.
Well, right here, Simmons is with one out, just trying to get something going. He knows they need base runners. They're down 4, and they're playing back, so he just tried to lay down a bunt. Hit it a little too hard, but that's the case where if you're going to bunt and you don't bunt it fair, you make sure it's foul so you don't give up an at bat.
Simmons pulls that fair. And
Nice.
Chang with a terrific play to smother it. Made the short hop grab and throw, 2 down.
Yeah, he had to come in on this hard infield. He couldn't let it bounce again. Watch him. He gets a good break and he goes, I got to go for it. And he's able to get that short hop. I've been impressed with Chang's arm. You know, when he gets to third base, he seems to be very accurate with it. He's got a lot on the throw. So now 2 outs, down to the last out for the Angels.
Luis Rengifo, 1 for 3 on the night. And the 0-1 pitch from Tyler Clippard. How about that? I didn't realize Rick that There are 4, make that 5 active players who are among the top 27 whiff kings of all time. 5 active players: Mark Reynolds, Curtis Granderson, Chris Davis, Justin Upton, Miguel Cabrera, all in the top 27. Huh. Just again, it's more proof of how the strikeout is not regarded as a scarlet letter, and
it's no big deal. It's just another out, they say.
Curtis Granderson is 10th on the all-time strikeout list. That shocked me. Almost.
Yeah, he was a leadoff hitter. He was a good player.
Over 1,900 career strikeouts.
And he had a very good eye at the plate.
Yeah. Reggie Jackson's #1, Jim Thome's #2. Not surprising. They also hit a lot of home runs.
Yeah, there was, yes, indeed.
And in Thome's case, walked a ton. That's down low.
Well, that's what made Jim Thome, because his on-base percentage, you know, his philosophy, man, you can give me a walk and a knock, and I'm going to be just fine. And he might strike out those other 2 times, but he'd make sure he'd get that walk in that ball game. That's for sure.
The other names on the top strikeouts: Adam Dunn, Sammy Sosa, A-Rod, Andres Galarraga, Jose Canseco, Willie Stargell. Swung on and missed in a full count.
Shane Kingman's name on that list anywhere?
Yeah, he is 19th all time. Chris Davis is ahead of him.
Wow. Well, that doesn't surprise me. But I mean, I played against Kingman and watched him for a while. He could swing and miss with a lot of power.
3-2 count with 2 down. Let's see if Tyler Clippard can get a swing and a miss and put this one to bed. Eventually, we'll have a pitch. And a foul back by Rengifo. He's staying alive.
Yeah, he left that one way upstairs. The off-speed pitch looked like a changeup.
Another foul out of play. Okay, apologies to the Babe Ruth fans. He was a 132nd on the all-time strikeout list. He only struck out 1,330 times. And Hank Aaron was 110th. So those 2 guys,
for as long as they played.
and they hit for high average though, as well as being home run hitters. So. Clippard ready. The payoff pitch is popped up, shallow left. Out goes Lindor. He'll take it, and this one goes to the Indians. 6-2 is the final score. As the Indians maintain their mastery over the Angels, they've gone 4-0 against the Halos this year. And Shane Bieber, with another strong outing, goes to 14-7 on the season. And the Indians are now 84-61. And with Oakland getting spanked earlier by Houston today, the Indians now just a half game behind the A's in the wild card race. They'll also pick up a half game on idle Minnesota.
5 back there.
Maybe 5 out in the standings against the Twins. So
a good day.
All things positive here on the left coast as the Indians win it 6-2. And we'll take a look at our Pat O'Brien play of the game, and it's Shane Bieber's night.
It sure is, man. This is a home game for Shane. He comes out, he was dealing right from the outset. He gave up the 1 run. It was a solo home run on an 0-2 pitch, but he was ahead of every hitter. He mixed his pitches. His breaking ball was spot on today. He located his fastballs when need be, and he goes back. And this guy's record, 14-7. He just continues to roll. Not many times you see a guy get a curtain call when he's out on the road.
Now, it says a lot about Shane Bieber for the number of people that came out here to support him tonight.
Yes, indeed.
And the Indians' playoff picture. And they'll have 2 more games here against the Angels before they head home to take on Minnesota next weekend in another crucial series. So that wraps up our coverage for tonight. Again, we'll be back with you Wednesday for the series finale. Time now for Indians Live postgame with Al and Jensen. And you guys were there watching it with us. It was Shane Bieber night here in Anaheim, wasn't it?